And you'd want to get someone like Daniel Carter to do something like that because you know the cool thing about Daniel Carter, because I watched his documentary on Amazon. Bro, it's awesome insight into him and kind of like where he came from, like any documentary, but gives him like a real insight into his insecurities in that. And he just seems more level-headed than other guys. You know, other players, people like you think they're a bit much, or you know, he seems like the kind of guy that wouldn't mind exposing more, and you'd want him to host a podcast because the connections that he has. Because remember when he was at the top of his game, he was an ambassador for Adidas. You know. Was it Range Rover or something like that? You know, those kind of things. Like, and there's a segment there where he goes to some fashion show in Paris. You know, and like that kind of shows like the kind of walks in life, or, you know, all the people that he was
around. You
know, and that's why and he's so analytical as well.
Yeah,
if he'd done a podcast,
you would have to be especially at first five, man. Holy, I mean, first five, second five. I mean, he's played in I think those two main positions that he's played in his career. But man, you are so right, bro. You know, you just need players of his caliber, you know, to start something like that, you know, and you know, it's cool seeing. That's why I liked hearing Chad Townsend, because he plays in the halves. That's pretty much the most pivotal position on the field, you know, or he plays in the standoff position. I don't know, one or the other anyway.
Is that where you play?
Yeah. So I'm actually a hooker. I'm a hooker, but I've transitioned into the halves and stuff. And so, yeah, like for me, let's see, like just kind of hearing guys like that, you know, on a podcast, that's really interesting, because you know that they're genuine leaders on the field, like they're just born leaders, you know, and there's a reason why they're playing in that position at that level, you know. And so when you're talking about Dan Carter, that dude's been all over the place. He's been through injuries, you know.
He's got different interests in that, you know. You know, with Richie McCoy, you know, he likes flying.
Yeah.
He's a flanker.
He's
married to you know, because he's so close, you know.
He's pretty close.
You know, he's closed off. You know, those are the things he likes.
Yeah.
Dan Carter, you know, well, he's got into a bit
of that guy,
bit of trouble there, and you know, and you know.
Well, that's why, like, you know, you think of if I was to compare Richie McCaw to anyone in rugby league, Simon Mannering.
Yes.
Like, I don't hear too much about him anymore, but he was my favourite player.
Yeah, he was,
you know, because he was just a hard nut.
Yeah.
You know, and I read his book too, and amazing journey that fellow went through as well. But like, you know, it would be cool to just even talk to that guy. Yeah. You know, like,
and if anyone could get him to talk, it would be DC.
Yeah, you know, DC just knows. You know, but these players know DC. You know, and these players would want to get on someone like DC's, you know, platform,
because he's one of those sorts too, man. I hear some stories about him when he's on the juice with the boys. You know,
he's a good laugh.
You know, just going back to how we were talking about the media and how this guy, how he said that they don't talk to the reporters, and it's because of that. There's a mistrust there, you know, because I think the way the media's treated these guys, Artie, and I think the way that they treated Julian when he had his dramas and that.
Yeah, good example, bro.
Because a couple of weeks ago there was that incident where Artie got in trouble for not having a mouth guard or something.
Yeah.
And then and he put on I remember he put out a tweet or something, and he said, it would have been nice if you had come and talked to me and said it to me before you went and reported. And I think it might have been a reporter, that actually knocked him off. So you've already got a mistrust of the media, and then you've got other people like that.
Yeah.
Why would you want to talk to the media? And you know that the way that you can get your truth out is either through a podcast or through social media.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
That's because it used to be what the machine used to be. As a player, if you want to get your story out, you build a relationship with a good reporter. You tell them something, and they're gonna paint you in the same light, you know, verbatim. They'll tell you what you said, but you tell a reporter something, and they're gonna, you know, they'll go, "Oh, I think you might have meant this," and I'll bring up something from the past that he's talked about. You know? You can see why these guys don't. You know, you can see why that the hero would have to go to James Marshall's podcast getting any information, because none of the boys want to open up to them anymore, man.
Yeah. It's so true, man. It's so true, and like, you know, it's kind of like you know, if players are definitely swaying away now, you know, but you know, it's been around for a while now, and these players are starting to kick up, you know, a fuss about it, you know, and I think these media people really got to start showing a little bit more respect, you know, to these players, because, you know, at the end of the day, these players do have families to go home to, you know, and, you know, what is said in the media not affects them, but affects their families as well, you know, like, you know, if their kids, you know, if they have kids and they're going to school, quite simple, man, you know, like, you know, a kid, you know, who's my brother's age, you know, will look at something and all of a sudden, you know, oh, Josiah's done this and this and this, he's in trouble for this. I haven't been in trouble for anything, you know what I mean? But because he's seen it in the media, he's, you know, told my brother, and my brother, you know, he could get upset from it, you know, you just never know, man. You know, so yeah, these media people, man, you know, I like to think, you know, some of them are pricks, but, you know, well, that was it's true, man.
You know, in our earlier podcast, that was a lot. We used to talk about that a lot.
Oh, okay.
How the mistrust of any media, you know, how like we're not getting, you know, a fair deal as Polynesian people, but just we thought some of the stuff that they were putting through was all biased. So it was just about being fair, you know, because a lot of these pieces that come through now, a lot of more opinion pieces instead of actually, can you just tell us, you know, I think the principle was what, when, where, how, or whatever, and it's not, but their one now is what, when, and what do you think I think, and, you know, this is what you should think, and that's why we love the podcast, because we thought, you know what, we're just going to go up and we'll just talk about what we think is going on these days, especially our early ones, especially under the influence. A lot of those kind of rants, man. They're like, shit.
But you know, that's what I love about, you know, people like yourselves, you know, like you're doing something that obviously other people aren't doing, and you know, you're obviously going to use this as a you know, way to express your guys' own feelings and opinions, you know, and that's so important, you know, because a lot of people continue to get judged, you know, for you know, not doing that. And when someone does, it's obviously because it's in the wrong context or environment, you know. But again, you know, we've said it quite a few times tonight, you know, a podcast is just an excellent way of being able to express your opinions and your thoughts, you know. So yeah, you know, I fully understand where you guys are going with it, you know, as well.